having wanted to go in the field of law enforcement, and then being put in handcuffs. And I told my attorney, I said, I do not want to ever have my mother to see me in handcuffs. If there's anything that you can do to keep my mom from seeing me ever in handcuffs, please do it.
When my daughter called me from Washington, D.C. and told me that he was in jail, that was very, very devastating to me because I had never experienced that.
My brother and I became infected with HIV through a blood transfusion in 1981. I was 7 years old and my brother was 15. He suffered from what is called severe ahemophilia, which is the worst.
As the doctor said, this is something that you sort of want to keep secret, because if you do, the community will turn their backs on you. That sort of educated us. And with Ryan White, we learned a lot about that. But we never talked about it.
And when you're growing up in that type of life of not to talk about it, you develop an attitude of, I cannot talk about it. It's like during my whole life, I had pulled away because I really hated this disease. When we were together, I would always practice safe sex. I didn't inform her of my HIV status, but I would always practice safe sex. She did not want to utilize condoms because for whatever reason, she wanted a more realistic effect. And she stated she was on birth control pills, but I was like, nah, I'm going to use a condom every time. I said, this is getting serious to me. So at that time, I was going to ask her to marry me. So I said, you know, before I do this, I need to make sure that you understand that I'm HIV positive. I asked her again to marry me. She said yes. So I was extremely happy. Picked out a church and everything. We were looking at other things, dresses and tuxedos. And then in December, we got into an argument. We ended the relationship. April of 2006, she decided to file charges. And that was very hard because that was my first time ever being locked up. And I'm underground in DC's prison with U.S. Marshals walking around. And I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here. And at that time, I didn't know what the charges were. They just said assault. And I'm thinking, I haven't assaulted anyone. It came out in the paper in Arkansas. And it was on the news as well. And so the next young lady who I dated when I first moved to Arkansas in 2001 had filed charges. For them to go to the police and state that he had unprotected sex with me the entire time that we were together, that really bothered me because of the fact that if we've had unprotected sex that much, that continuously over and over again, and you're not HIV positive, then some parts of that cannot possibly be true. They're not HIV positive. And they did it out of frustration. So by you having a law that's so constitutionally vague, it creates a big problem. 5:14:23. It's bad that I remember it like that, but no fluids have to exchange. No object can be inserted into any forms of the body. And how my lawyer explained in layman's terms, I could stick a Q-tip in someone's ear and not inform that I'm HIV positive. And that's violating the law.
I really don't think Mark would have gone to prison if he had been a white man. It probably would have just been a slap on the hand, a slap on the wrist, because the young ladies were not HIV positive, and it did not serve a purpose as far as I'm concerned. It failed us. So society failed the boys. So I was not bitter about it because I felt like it should help somebody, and hopefully it will.